What's up, world? It's your boy Terrell Miller, your astrologer teacher, and today I'm going to give y'all my quick little analysis on what you can expect when Jupiter and Saturn conjuncts move into the sign of Aquarius. So first of all, you got to know what the sign of Aquarius means. Aquarius represents groups, organizations, represents our friend circle, represents our hopes, dreams, and wishes. But Aquarius also represents science, technology, astrology, going to outer space, thinking outside the box, doing things in an untraditional way, something that's very outside the norm, something that's very different also. So the first thing you'll see when Jupiter move into Aquarius, Saturn move into Aquarius, you're gonna see a shift from the human conscious. That means our conscious is gonna shift together. For people who wasn't into astrology, then they'll start researching things. You'll also see that the government will start doing more research out of space, going out of space also. Since Aquarius represents that higher intelligence, people who was born with planets already in Aquarius, then they can definitely get into a genius state of mind, or start inventing things, possess some type of mystical power also. Mainly for people who already have planets in that area. And people who already have planets in that area, they'll tell you. They're a scientific thinker. They probably seen UFOs this lifetime. Like Kevin Gates, he got quadruple planets in Aquarius. He said plenty of times he's seen UFOs before. I can believe him. He got planets in Aquarius. Aquarius is the highest of our conscious. That means Pisces is that spiritual knowledge, which is believing in God but can't see it, which is having faith. Sagittarius is religion, which is Baptist, Christianity, Muslim, Islam, things like that. But Aquarius is science, technology. So anytime Jupiter move into that area, then our good fortune now is going to come from thinking outside the box. Good fortune is going to come from technology, first of all. So the internet is definitely, people is going to go from rags to riches at dealing with the internet also. Since Capricorn is the 12th sign from Aquarius and Capricorn represents the government, then the government could go through great losses during this time when it comes to dealing with finances, because people intelligence, they're going to learn how to make wealth through the internet, which is scamming, which is promoting, which is doing YouTube, things like that. So people is definitely going to gain, and we're going to gain a lot of freedom. This is the time that minority people is going to come up, because Saturn is moving into its own original house, which is Aquarius, and it represents the masses of the people. So Saturn is going to uplift people who's in minority situations. So you'll see that the government start doing more favors for us. They'll start billing onto things and projects and minority restricting situations also. But for all us, our human conscience is going to shift together towards going towards higher knowledge, higher technology. You'll see that a lot of inventions come out through this transit. You'll see that a lot of indigo kids come out through this transit also. For people who's already born with that, then you could simply, Aquarius is like getting light speed of information, like having an epiphany, having a sudden awakening. So those are the only human powers you'll probably see. So all this time we're going to get human power, that is not true. People who was already born with planets in Aquarius, they might got a little something, a little gift that don't nobody else have. You know what I'm saying? But for the humans, conscious, for everybody as a whole, we'll definitely be more in tune to outer space. We'll definitely be more in tune to get into your zodiac sign, because Aquarius rules the zodiac sign. You feel me? So for a lot of people, we just kind of going to start thinking outside the box. It's going to be a lot of freedom when it comes to working. A lot of people could lose jobs around that time, because Jupiter in Aquarius blesses you when you have freedom to do what you want to do, like not going to work. You feel me? So for people who get into business for themselves, that's why I made a comment on my Facebook. People who go into business for themselves in 2021, they're going to flourish. You feel me? Everything is going to be good. But Saturn goes into Aquarius, it uplifts the masses of people. Jupiter goes into Aquarius to give us higher intelligence about religion, higher intelligence about science, about technology also. So you'll see that the government will make a big discovery dealing with outer space. If it really is aliens or UFOs, then this is going to be the time that we're going to encounter that also. You're going to see a lot of young people get into a genius state of mind. Like young people can really, because they was born, someone was born in that energy. So a lot of them is definitely going to get in the genius state of mind. A lot of indigo kids is going to rise around this time also. But when you have Jupiter in Aquarius, wealth, good fortune, knowledge is going to come through dealing with groups and organizations. You're going to see a big divide into the countries also, because Aquarius represents groups, organizations, and is a freedom oriented sign. Like Aquarius people like to have their freedom. That's what people don't understand about them. They can be your friend, but they can also stay away from you for a certain amount of time also. So you're going to see that in the universe where like a lot of groups, a lot of organizations is going to start dividing up. You feel me? Democrats going with Democrats, Republicans going Republicans, Christians going at the astrology people, the conscious people going at the religious people, things like that. You feel me? So, but on the good thing, Aquarius is a philanthropist sign, is a sign dealing with humanitarian work. So if you want to get the good fortunes of Jupiter this year, you have to be doing social work. You have to be doing work that's dealing with the masses of people. You feel me? People who's able to gather a group of people and at one event, those people is gonna gain the most. You feel me? You also see people who's already rich is start to give back also. You know what I'm saying? So the human conscious just kind of be more awakened to thinking outside the box. I mean, people are not gonna want to just listen to the old mundane religion or something that's basic, a basic texture that they already done heard. Like this is gonna be the time people is gonna be interested in astrology. Also, you'll also see that the majority of the world will have a lack of sleep. If not a lack of sleep, they will wake up in the middle of the night a lot. And it's gonna be a whole yearly transit. You feel me? So they can start waking up in the middle of the sleep. You're gonna also see that a lot of women is gonna start get into sexual interactions with other women. So women with women, homosexual, gay, whatever you want to call it, lesbians, that's definitely is gonna happen a lot around that time. You feel me? And it's not that women's gonna be looking for like dykes and studs and shit like that. Like women gonna be looking for bad bitches. Other bad bitches want bad bitches. So you'll see a rise in the homosexual community or the lesbian community also. Or you'll see that the government will go through great losses when it comes to finances because Jupiter is intelligence. Now intelligence is going towards technology. So people who know how to hack computers, people who know how to scam, they're gonna come up. People who's into bitcoins, they're gonna come up. People who's already invested into stocks and things like that, people who's are invested in the apps, they're gonna come up. You're gonna see a lot of people start inventing new apps also. A lot of people is gonna start their own group, their own public, just like people getting their fans only page now. Like people want to branch out to the side with them, they close friends, and work on their thing. So and Aquarius represents friends. So relationships with friends is definitely gonna bring a lot of good fortune around that time. You feel me? So like for people like Capricorns, Jupiter's entering their second house of wealth, finances. So it's gonna bring you wealth, but it's gonna give you the intelligence on how to make wealth through technology, through friends, through groups and organizations, through doing social work, and through speaking also. So this year Capricorns will have to do a lot more speaking. They will have to connect with their social groups also. They can also get foreign money, or they can have foreign clients a lot around this time also. So it'll just show what every sign should be looking out for. But anytime Jupiter goes into Aquarius, it blesses us through our friend circles. We gain a lot. People who was born in 85, people who was born in 97, they was born with Jupiter in Aquarius. I was born in 85. We get a lot of free gains throughout our life because Aquarius originally rules the house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. So a lot of people hopes, dreams, and wishes is going to come through. And Saturn is in its own Muticon sign. Saturn represents karma. So when Saturn is in a bad sign, or if it's debilitated, like in the sign Aries, for those 18 months, it's going to be hell on the masses of people or the public. You feel me? And it's only bringing that karma because maybe us as the people in a whole have did something wrong. So when Jupiter in Aquarius is really showing that y'all as a people in a whole needs to come together to fix things in the world. Y'all as a people in a whole stop looking at racism. Because black people need white people need black people, every race need everybody. So you're going to see like that 1970s energy where everybody was hippie-ish, everybody just wanted to get along, everybody wanted to do philanthropy work, then you're gonna start seeing that this year. You feel me? Also, when the planets move first, when they first shift into a sign, uh either it can take some away from you, like finances, money, job. Like if it's moving in your money area, it's gonna take some of the money away from you. Cause through that year, it wanna show you that I'm the reason why you're getting this money. You feel me? But for everybody, Saturn represents karma. Aquarius is its own sign. So it's bringing good karma. Our past good karma that we didn't sow seeds for the last 12 years, Saturn is now bringing that back. You feel me? So for all the minority people, we definitely gonna receive a lot of good karma, especially from the government, or especially for people who's already rich. They're gonna start giving back to minority people. Minority people is gonna rebuild America single-handedly, because you're gonna see that people who already got business, people who got storefronts, restaurants, bars, things like that, they're going to suffer big losses. They're going to have to close things down also. They might have to sell their building to somebody who's less financially wealthy than them. You know what I'm saying? So, because Jupiter wants to give people freedom. That means it wants you to give the freedom to think, use technology, strategy, how you're going to make your wealth. Think as a scientific person on how you're going to make your wealth. You feel me? So even for the people who really ain't believe in astrology, this is the time that they'll start researching. This is the time they'll start getting into their sign also. And you'll see like a great divide in the nation. So Congress, Democrats, Republicans, they can divide that. Like Donald Trump probably don't leave the White House. Like he probably still get a job there. He probably still be enforcing law there also. You know, so we're gonna have to think outside the box and do things untraditional. So when it comes to our food resources, our food supply, I think I made a video about Uranus and Taurus for the next 7 years. It's kind of like the same thing, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and they ruled by Saturn. You feel me? So it's going to be a change in our day-to-day life, our day-to-day schedule, the way we live, and mainly our higher religion, because Jupiter is the planet of religion. So it's bringing religion to people, but it's also telling you that not only should you believe in the Bible, not only you should believe in the law and the religion that your ancestors gave you, but you should also get into science, get into astronomy. You feel me? This is me too. This is God. This is God. But you should also believe into spirituality, which is Pisces, which is the unseen, the unknown, things that you cannot explain to people, but you know exist, which is your conscious, which is your spiritual sense, which is your intuition, which is your dreams at night also. But astrology is me able to show the world why do these things happen. You feel me? When a certain transit come, what's finna happen? You feel me? So around this 18, I think Saturn might be there a little bit longer. Planets go into retrograde also. So if it do go into retrograde, you know, Jupiter go into retrograde for a couple months. So it can stay a little longer. Saturn could go in retrograde. It could stay a little longer. But when Saturn is in its own sign of Aquarius, it will not damage that sign. It will bring us more good karma, and it will uplift the minority people. People who's in the ghetto, people who's in poverty, people who's in poverty-stricken situations. You will see less racism in the world around that time. Either they're going to divide people who's racist, or you're going to see that it's more black, white people, Jewish people, Chinese people is just naturally coming along around that time. You feel me? So our higher intelligence is going to go towards outer space. So if it's really aliens, we're going to see it this year. Or if it's anything that we're trying to discover, if there's any type of invention that's going to happen, it's going to happen this year. You feel me? So Aquarius is like that HD signal to the universe. That's why people keep saying we're going to get some type of superpowers and all that. We already got superpowers. You can do what animals cannot do. You feel me? Animals got powers that you cannot do. You feel me? But around this time, it's going to help you tap into what's natural, what's feel good to you, and what's gonna bring good fortune for you. You feel me? So like for people who are Aries or Aries ascendant or Aries moon sign, Jupiter's gonna be entering your 11th house. So it wants you to get your good fortune, get your gains through your network circle. Hopes, dreams, and wishes could come true for Aries around this time also, because Jupiter's in the 11th house. And it's aspecting your 5th house of speculated gains. So if you're Aries moon rising and you're trying to have a child, it can definitely happen around this time. You're trying to gain through speculation, which is gambling, the stock market, getting inheritance, playing the lottery, things like that. It gonna definitely happen this year. Uh, but when Jupiter is in your 11th house, is in your houses of desires. That means it's gonna surround you with people who's gonna help you bring your desires true. Also, the 11th house represents your elder sibling. So if you're an Aries and you have an elder sibling, it's a good time to get in contact with your elder siblings. Also, it definitely is gonna hold your relationship together. Also, because it's aspecting all your relationship houses. So if you're a single Aries, don't worry about it. Love is coming. For our Tauruses, Jupiter is going to be in your 10th house of dealing with your career. This year, a lot of Taurus is definitely going to elevate when it comes to their work life, when it comes to their career life. But Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius represents friends, social groups, organizations. So it's going to force you to use a group of people to make your career happen, really doing social work. You feel me? So let's say if you're a Taurus and you do taxes or something like that. You got a lawn care service. Now you got to find some friends who can help work with you also. But for all Tauruses, Jupiter's going to be in your 10th house. This is the highest house dealing with your career. So it's going to help elevate your career life. And it aspects your 4th house of people of the homeland. So it brings a lot of popularity to you with people in your local community. It also blesses you with property. And it blesses the mother. So you'll see that the mother go through a prosperous time through that alignment. And for all Tauruses, your work life is definitely going to be active. And most Tauruses are going to get a powerful Raj Yoga, because Saturn is their yoga karka planet and it's moving into the 10th house. So your Dharma, which is what God wants you to do, is your career. So for a lot of Tauruses, they're going to see their career take off around that time. Good time for Tauruses to go into business for themselves. Good time for Leos to go into business for themselves. Good time for Cancers to go into business for themselves also. Good time for Libras to gain through speculated business. That means Libras could hit the lottery. Libras could gain through speculation like stock market. If I was a Libra, this is the best time for them to get on Bitcoin or learn how to make money through stocks or electronics or apps. But for all Geminis, Jupiter is going to be in your 9th house of higher learning, traveling, foreign places also. So it can give you opportunity to go to foreign places also. Around this time, you'll see a lot of Geminis going to be very into politics also. It's going to force you to get your higher degree or have some type of higher views to advance in your career. So a lot of Gemini is going to get opportunities to work in foreign places. A lot of Gemini is going to get opportunities to work with their friends. That means your friends could find you a job, or you can help find your friend a job around that time also. But when Jupiter is in your 9th house, it do very good. You feel me? It looks at your 5th house of your self-efforts, your self-dharma, creativity, past life, good deeds, or speculated business, and it looks at your 1st house of you, and it look at your 3rd house of courage. So around that time, it's definitely going to give you a lot of courage to work on your own self-development. But good fortune is going to come when you travel, when you go to foreign places, or when you get some type of higher degree. That means learning something new that can help you advance more so other than a lot of people. And a lot of Geminis are going to get a powerful Raj Yoga dealing with money. So it can rise you to a kingly status dealing with your finances. So wealth is on the rise for a lot of Geminis. Or for Cancer, so Jupiter is going to be in your 8th house of occult knowledge, mysticism. It's going to make you look deep into research to find your wealth. So a lot of Cancer could get some type of inheritance. A lot of Cancer could get money loaned through other people. A lot of Cancers could hit the lottery also, because the 8th house represents other people's resources, other people's money. Other people's money is coming towards you. Also, the 8th house represents your deep intimacy relationships. With Saturn is there, it's telling you that your karma is to deal with your soulmate. Your karma is to deal with your in-laws around that time also. With Saturn is there also, Saturn blocks your ups and downs. So for a lot of cancers, if you get into a car accident, or you just get into accidents, period, you'll see that Saturn kind of blocks that. Because Saturn is the planet of longevity when it comes to death. So any little health problem, that's for Aries too. So if you're Aries, you get into an accident, you have health problems, Saturn is going to block those things to keep your health good. Or for all my Leos, for Leos, Jupiter and Saturn is going to be transiting your seventh house of business and relationships. So it's a perfect time for a Leo to get married, find a soulmate. It's a perfect time for a Leo to start opening up a business for themselves also. With Saturn in the seventh house, it gains directional strength. So people who was born in Saturn in the seventh house, it give you a gift to control the masses. You feel me? So with Saturn in the seventh house, a lot of Leos will be getting into astrology, or you could meet an astrologer around that time. Because Saturn also represents gurus and teachers. But for Leos too, Saturn will be aspecting y'all's sun sign. That means it's going to try to humble y'all. Some of y'all are going to see on social media that Leos is not that likable. Like people could be posting nasty things about Leo because Saturn is transiting your sun sign. Sun sign is your personality. You feel me? You're not mature or you're not a grown sign until you go through your Saturn return. After Saturn return, if you catch your Saturn return at 45 years old, you was immature until 45. You feel me? So now all Leos who's immature, it don't matter if you're a young Leo, you 18 years old. You feel me? This 18 months is finna mature you up. You're going to be grown. You're going to be forced to see people for who they really are. Some people going to come against you, but you're going to rise because Saturn is in its own sign. Mainly, you're going to rise through your spouse, through business. Think about those two. For all Virgos, Jupiter and Saturn is transiting your sixth house, dealing with your daily routine. Jupiter is wealth. So your daily routine is going to be dealing with finances also. Or the sixth house represents your enemies, your debt in life. Jupiter is going to give you intelligence on how to deal with your enemies. So if you have a past friend that you fell out with, you'll learn how to amend that relationship. With Jupiter and Saturn in the sixth house, it give you long-term jobs too. So for all Virgos who are working, you'll see that you get a raise, you get some type of promotion, or your job and your stability is definitely going to come up. It's definitely good if Virgos go into business for themselves, especially a business of money, like working for a bank, doing taxes, or getting into some type of religious also. They'll definitely gain around that time. You should also think about going into business with your spouse because your daily routine is going to be into relationship or handling finances around that time. Or your mother can go through a prosperous time too. So if you're a Virgo, you'll see that your mother or your home life can go through a prosperous time. But Jupiter is going to always protect your job for that yearly transit. Saturn is going to block your enemies, is going to block your debt, is going to block health problems away from you also. And Jupiter is going to give you money on your daily routine because the sixth house represents what you're doing every day. So what you doing every day is going to be bringing in a check. Whether you working, whether you into business for yourself, whether you doing social work. You feel me? For all my Libras, Jupiter is going to be entering your fifth house of creativity. So if you're a Libra, you into rapping, you into music, this is the time to elevate. This is the time to put yourself out there. Also, Jupiter is going to be entering your fifth house of children. So your intelligence is going to have to go towards children. I want you to think outside the box when it comes to dealing with your children. So if you're a Libra man or a Libra woman and you have children that don't stay with you or they with the other parent, this is the time you're going to have to think of a way that y'all going to have to get along and do right by these children. You feel me? But when Jupiter's in the fifth house for all Libras, it blesses you through speculated business. That means you don't know, all your investments come back in good return. You feel me? And with Saturn there, Saturn is Libra yoga karka planet. So it gives y'all a light Raj yoga when it comes to dealing with people of your homeland, your family, your mother, and dealing with property and real estate. So if you're a Libra, you're going to find the right property. It can force you to build on to your property because Saturn represents constructing. And when Saturn moves into a sign, Saturn is a slow planet. So we're not going to really feel the effect of Saturn until he's deep into the sign of Aquarius because he's a slow planet. He's all about structuring things. And you can't build Rome in a day. You feel me? So you're going to have to structure a lot of things, folks. But for Libras, they're going to get Raj Yoga dealing with property, real estate. They're going to get Raj Yoga dealing with their children. Raj Yoga dealing with speculated business. And Raj Yoga is really just a combination of planets that come together that bring you status in life, brings you wealth in life, brings you achievements in life. You feel me? Also, some Libras will see that their children go through a prosperous time. Like your children will probably go to college around that time. Your children will do well in their education around that time also. With Libras, it's also aspecting your 11th house of gains, network circles, friends. So it's going to put you around the right friends. It's aspecting the 11th house of elder sibling. So the connection with the elder sibling, you'll be able to amend that relationship, or you'll know how to deal with them for that yearly transit. You feel me? But when Jupiter is in your 5th house, it aspects all your Dharma houses, which is good houses, and it aspects your 9th house. So it gives you opportunities to travel. It protects your body. This is a good time to get into your physical health, work on your self-development. I mean, do something for yourself. But mainly, Libra's intelligence is going to go towards gaining through speculation, gaining through creativity, gaining through children also. Or your children could go through a prosperous time, or the person that you have children with, you might have to let something go because Aquarius is a karmic sign. You feel me? Scorpio, for all Scorpios, y'all gonna get a Raj Yoga. Jupiter rules our 5th house and it's moving into the 4th house. So for all Scorpios, your intelligence is gonna go towards dealing with family, making money at home. That means some Scorpios can definitely make money from home, start working from home, working with kids, working in the school system also. Anytime you do social work for people in your local community, people in your local community is going to support you. That's just like for Leos and Scorpios, if you go into business for yourself, you'll see that people that's already know you, that's local to you, they definitely going to give a lot of support. For Scorpio women, Leo women, Aries women, Libra women, relationships can definitely start. And Aquarius women. Because Jupiter represents your husband and represents your spouse. Because it could bring your spouse to you around that time. But mainly for Scorpio, Jupiter aspects your 4th house, your 10th house, and your moksha houses. So this is the time a lot of Scorpios is going to go through some spiritual enlightenment. Some Leos are Scorpio ascendants also, so they can get some type of enlightenment. But you're going to gain through property. You're going to gain through real estate. You're going to gain through constructing homes, working from homes, working on homes also. You're going to gain through your family members also. You'll see that your mother go through a good time. And with Jupiter in the 4th house, it aspects your 10th house of career. So it's going to blesses you in your career all year. And it's going to give you plenty of bedroom sex and money through other people. So you can definitely gain through other people's resources around that time also. For all Sagittarius, Jupiter is going to be in your 3rd house, dealing with media, dealing with marketing, dealing with promoting yourself. Some Virgos are Sagittarius ascendant, so know your rising sign or your moon sign. But if you're a Sagittarius, it's going to be in your 3rd house dealing with your younger siblings. So it's going to give you intelligence on how to deal with your younger siblings. Or it's going to give you intelligence on how to market yourself. Because the 3rd house represents going off your own gift. So for some Virgos and some Sagittarius, it's best for y'all to go into business for yourself. Because Saturn is going to be in your 3rd house. Saturn don't want nobody to work for nobody else when it's in the 3rd house. So even if you is working, you'll see that your side hustle is picking up more than your actual work life around that time. But all Sagittarius is going to give you opportunities to travel far away. Also, it's going to expand your local community. That means that year, you could get invited to invitations around that time. They can have a lot of parties in your local community around that time. You'll have to take a lot of short trips. That means up and down the street, ripping and running, handling business, promoting yourself also. When Saturn is in the 3rd house, it looks at all your desire houses. So it surrounds you with people. It gets you in a relationship. It protects the relationship with your siblings, the elder sibling, and your friends too. So friends coming and bring gains to a person also. And like I told everybody, these 2 planets represents doing social work, minority work. So if you're a person who's not likable, you probably won't get that many customers around this time because it's all about your reputation. You feel me? But for a lot of people, hopes, dreams, and wishes definitely going to come true. For Capricorns, Jupiter is going to be entering your 2nd house, which is your house of speech, which is your house of finances. So for 18 months, it's going to be increasing your finances. Most of y'all Libras are Capricorn ascendants. So if you're a Libra with a Capricorn ascendant, that you know you're going to get money through speculative business this year. But if you're a Capricorn, Jupiter's going to be in your second house of speech and vocal cords. So it's going to force you to speak for your money also. It's going to force you to deal with friends, do social work with friends to gather money. You feel me? Also, for those 18 months, it's going to help you pay off your debt. And it's going to keep your career life flowing or prosperous around that time. But remember that these two signs represents freedom. You feel me? So people find the best fortune when they have freedom to do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So for all Capricorn, y'all need to be thinking of a side hustle that y'all can make some extra money on the side, and that's how Jupiter's gonna bless you. So it could come through a friend, it could come through bitcoins, it could come through speaking, singing, doing lectures in life. Also, it can also come through foreign travelings, but foreign resources is definitely is gonna come to y'all. But for all caps, it's gonna force you to do social work with dealing with people in your immediate family members also. So you might have to take care of some family. You might have to handle some family business, taking your parents to the doctor, or making sure your parents got good insurance, things like that. For Aquarius, Jupiter is going to be in your sign. So for all Aquarius women, it's definitely going to bring your husband to you this year. For all Aquarius in general, Jupiter in your first house give you directional strength. So if you was Aquarius, you were lost in life and you didn't know what you want to do in life, and when Jupiter hit your first house, it suddenly lets you know this is what you need to be doing. So if you're Aquarius, this is a good year to get married, start new relationships. This is a good year to travel and work on your own self-development also. But when Jupiter's in the second house, the first house, to give you intelligence on how to deal with your spouse, on how to run a business, and how to deal with children and foreign places. So you'll get an opportunity to travel for romance. You'll get an opportunity to travel dealing with your creativity also. When Jupiter enters your first house, it simply makes you a little bit more optimistic. You feel me? So for that year transit, you will feel good. You'll feel jovious. Your health will be good. And Jupiter rules your 11th and second house of money and wealth. So this is a very powerful ton yoga for all Aquarius people. So a lot of Aquarius people, hopes, dreams, and wishes could definitely come true. Unexpected wealth can come to you around this time also. Whenever you're doing, you're going to see a strong rise dealing with your financial state, dealing with income. Since it rules your 11th house, then it could come through friends or people you already know, social workers. But if you're Aquarius, this is a perfect time to follow your hopes, dreams, and wishes. For all Pisces, Jupiter is moving into your 12th house. So Pisces can definitely get some type of spiritual enlightenment around this time. Pisces can definitely gain through working from behind the scenes, like selling spiritual products, selling sex products, even selling drugs. Pisces will do good around this time also. When Jupiter's in your 12th house, it simply becomes a guardian angel for you all that year. Because the 12th house is the house of spirituality, religion, sleep, bedroom, sex also. So it protects you from your enemies. You definitely get moksha that year, which is spiritual enlightenment. And the 12th house represents foreign places. So it can get you into foreign places also. Your reputation is going to be all about making money behind the scenes, because Jupiter represents wealth. You feel me? So if you work in a job, they can isolate you to yourself. Like, look, I want you to work over here by yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Pisces and you independent, then you definitely is going to gain a lot of resources from foreign customers. This is a good time to get into your spirituality also. For all Pisces, Jupiter is going to be looking at your home area, so it's going to protect your home. It's going to bring more spirituality and religion into your home. It's going to bring more good times into your household also. It's also is going to look at your 8th house of deep intimacy relationships, shared income. So this is a good time that your relationships can get amended around this time. It's a perfect time that your shared income can rise. You can gain through other people's resources. And it's going to protect your health all year. So this is quite a good Jupiter for most Pisces people. You know what I'm saying? And with Saturn going into that area, Saturn could force you to travel for work. So if you're a Pisces and you have a gift and you had a talent, but you can never get out your local community and show the world your gift, this time is going to give you that chance to go out there and flourish also. So for everybody, this is definitely going to be better than 2020. because Jupiter was debilitated in Capricorn. That was the year of low morals. But when Jupiter first enters Aquarius, it is going to separate a lot of people. It's going to detach a lot of people. A lot of people is going to want their freedom. A lot of people are going to rise through the internet. A lot of people is going to get defamed through the internet also. Like I said earlier, even with the government, they can lose resources dealing with people who scamming, people who stealing also. For our food supply, the way we indulge in our food needs to change. That means our eating habit is going to have to change this year. The way we deal with currency, this will be the year that Bitcoin will flourish. This will be the year that cryptocurrency will flourish also. This will be the year that a lot of astrologers, people who are tarot cards, anything that you do that's abnormal, really weird people is going to flourish during this time. You feel me? So people who's doing something outside of the box also, also for Leos, Jupiter going into your seventh house of business and it's ruling your fifth house of speculated and past life good deeds. Fifth house represents speculated business, your investments. It wants you to take your investments and turn it into a business. You feel me? Also for Leos, they could marry the person that they have children with. If you are already married, this is a good time to have a second wedding or a second anniversary around that time. But it do very good. But for Leos too, it could get you in trouble with the police because Saturn is looking at your sun sign. Saturn is a judge. The sun is the government. You feel me? So you is going to have to deal with karma when it comes to your actions on how you treat your subordinates. That means your co-workers, how you treat people, and how you treat your spouse. If you cheat on your spouse as a Leo or a Leo rising as a Leo moon, you're going to receive that karma just like that. Just like that. You feel me? But for people who have planets in Aquarius, this is going to be a more enlightened time. And it's a time that people will understand you. Like me as an astrologer, when I've been into astrology, people ain't understand this. I'm trying to tell them about astrology. They're like, no, that shit the devil. You feel me? But the same people who was calling it the devil, they definitely is going to get into some type of research, you know what I'm saying? Indulging in their zodiac sign, kind of just learning a little more. And it's something for everybody to need to know because it gives you basic instructions before you leave the earth. You ever get lost in life? Look at your chart, follow your sign, or come get a reading from me. But make sure y'all tune in, man, for this double phenomenal transit. And it doesn't happen every 800 years. Whoever said that, that was a lie. You feel me? People who was born in 1980 should have this alignment. People who was born in 2000 should have this alignment. People who was born in 85 should have Jupiter in Aquarius. People who was born in 97 should have Jupiter in Aquarius. You feel me? So our good fortune is going to come through our friends. Our good fortune is going to come through networking or through groups, gatherings also. Our good fortune is going to come through technology, electricity, thinking outside the box. That means whatever you do, add a little spice, add something different to it. You feel me? So you'll definitely see a rise in the minority people. You'll definitely see people being more humanitarian. People want to do social work. So make sure y'all like, subscribe this video. Make sure y'all follow my channel. And I thank y'all. Hey, enjoy this 2021. It's going to be a blessed year.